Hello students, now we are going to see the subject of commerce. Unit 10, Company Law and Secretarial Practice. Under this, we are going to see Companies Act 2013. So many subtopics have given. The first one is Evolution and History of Company Law in India. Companies Act 2013, Meaning and Definition of Body Corporate, that is company. Then formation and incorporation of company, then promoter. And the next is procedural aspects of company formation, share and share capital, issue of shares, bonus shares and right shares, share certificates and share warrant, shares and stock, and the last topic is debentures. Companies Act 2013. Under this we are going to see evolution and history of company law in India. The concept of company or corporation in business is not new, but was dealt with in 4th century BC itself during Arthashastra days. Its shape got revamped over a period of time according to the needs of business dynamics. Thus, the company form of business has certain distinct advantages over other forms of businesses like sole proprietorship, partnership, etc. It may include features such as limited liability, perpetual succession, etc. Evolution and history of company law in India. The earliest business associations in England were the merchant guilds. Some of the merchant associations or guilds who have regulated the companies. The first one is a royal charter established the East India Company in the year of 1600. In England, the Joint Stock Companies Act was passed for the first time in 1844. In the year 1850, taking the English Joint Stock Companies Act 1844 as a base, a provision was made for registration of joint stock companies in India. The fourth point is the Joint Stock Companies Act was passed in India by introducing the concept of limited liability in the year of 1857. In 1913, the Indian Companies Act of 1913 was passed. The Act introduced the institution of private companies in the corporate sector in India. After independence, based on the recommendation of the Sri H.C. Baba Committee in 1950 and the provisions of the English Companies Act of 1948, the Companies Act 1956 was introduced in the Parliament. So here I have given the pictures for that. The main objectives of the Company Law 1956 are given below. The first one is to sustain trust and faith of the shareholders. And the second objective is it is to protect and preserve the rights of shareholders. And the third one is it is to have a drastic control over all the activities of company. And the fourth point is it is to make regulation of an effective annual meeting. And the fifth point is the investment of general public should be used for the development of society or the social welfare activities. So these are all the main objectives of the Company Law 1956. Thus, the Companies Act 1956 has been amended from time to time. From 2006 to 2009, some important changes was made. The first point is the Company Law Board, that is CLB, has been abolished and National Company Law Tribunal, that is NCLT, is formed. Then the rehabilitation of sick companies will be undertaken by the NCLT and not by the Board for Industrial and Financial Reconstruction. Earlier, the BIFR was entrusted with the rehabilitation of sick companies as the matter came under the jurisdiction of the Sikh Industrial Companies Act of 1985. But now the Sikh Industrial Companies Repeal Act 2003 has replaced SICA, and the work of revival and rehabilitation has been entrusted to NCLT. Thus, again, the Companies Act has been amended in the year 2013. So, it is considered that the Companies Act is 2013. So, here we can see some important basic changes made in the new Companies Act 2013. So, the first change is incorporation of company. Under this, the changes made in types of companies. That is, in types of companies, it is changed as public company, private company and one person company. And the second change is maximum number of members for private companies. And the changes made is a private company can have maximum of 200 members. And the third change is one person company. And the change is made as new concept introduced. And the fourth change is commencement of business. And the change is made is now applicable to all companies having share capital. And second change is memorandum of association. Under this, under object clause, it is changed as MOA, that is memorandum of association, to contain the objects for which the company is proposed to be incorporated and any matter considered necessary in furtherance thereof. And the third change is key managerial person. Under this section 2 subsection 51, the changes made in KMP, that is key managerial person, includes CEO or MD or manager, company secretary, then WTD, that is whole time director, and CFO, that is chief finance officer. Such other officers as may be prescribed. And the fourth change is appointment of whole time KMP, that is key managerial person. Under this section 203, the changes made states that every company belonging to class or classes of companies as may be prescribed shall have KMPs, that is MD or CEO or manager, and in absence of a WTD, that is whole time director, then company secretary, then chief financial officer. And the last changes regarding issue of share capital. Under this, issue of shares at a discount, the changes made in shares other than sweat equity shares cannot be issued at a discount. And the next changes is issue of preference shares for more than 20 years. Under this, the changes made in the preference shares have to be redeemed within 20 years of issue except for the shares issued for prescribed infrastructure projects, provided a certain percentage of shares are redeemed annually at the option of shareholders. And the next changes is notice of alteration of share capital. Under this, the changes made in company shall file a notice in the prescribed form with the registrar within a period of 30 days of redemption of redeemable preference shares. And the last changes consolidation and division of shares. Under this, the changes made in consolidation and division which results in changes in the voting percentage of shareholders shall require approval of the tribunal to be effective. So these are the new changes which was made in the new Companies Act of 2013. The next topic is body corporate. Body corporate means a corporate entity which has a legal existence. According to section 2 subsection 11, body corporate or corporation includes a private company, public company, one personal company, small company, limited liability partnerships, foreign company, incorporated outside India. But it does not include a cooperative society which is registered under any law that relates to cooperative societies and any other body corporate. not being a company as defined in this act. The next is formation and incorporation of a company. Under this section 3 subsection 1 of the act, it states that a company may be formed for any lawful purpose by 7 or more persons, where the company to be formed is to be a public company. 2 or more persons, where the company to be formed is to be a private company, or 1 person, where the company to be formed is to be a one-person company, that is to say, a private company by subscribing their names or his name to a memorandum and complying with the requirements of this act in respect of registration. The process of formation of company consists of different stages, which starts when a person envisages an idea to form a company and ends when a company gets a certificate from the Registrar of Companies after complying with the various provisions relating to the formation of a company. Thus, the formation of a company has been divided into 4 stages. The first one is promotion, then registration, capital subscription, and the last one is commencement of business. A private company can start operating its business immediately after registration, but a public company has to pass through 2 more stages: capital subscription and commencement of business. A public company can raise funds from the public by issuing their shares. After following all the legal provisions of public issue which are specified in the Companies Act, a public company can start operating of its business. For that, they will be providing a certificate of incorporation, and after that, certificate of commencement of business. After that, promoter. Promotion stage begins when the idea to form a company comes in a mind of a person. The person who envisaged the idea is called to be as a promoter. Definition. Section 2, subsection 69 of the Companies Act 2013 defines the term promoter as under. Promoter means a person who has been named as such in a prospectus or is identified by the company in the annual return referred to in section 92, or who has control over the affairs of the company directly or indirectly, whether as a shareholder, director, or otherwise, or in accordance with whose advice, directions, or instructions the board of directors of the company is accustomed to the act. Thus, these are the definitions of Companies Act 2013. By virtue of above definition, persons in accordance with whose advice, directions, or instructions the board of directors of the company is accustomed to act are also treated as promoters. However, if a person is merely acting in a professional capacity, that is, giving only professional advice to the board of directors, he shall not be treated as a promoter. The next is preliminary steps, first stage. Under this, the first point is appoint bankers, solicitors, brokers for the company. The second point is prepare the memorandum and the articles of association of the company, get it printed and registered. The third point is find the persons who are ready to sign the memorandum and the articles of association. And the last point is enter into preliminary contracts with underwriters, suppliers of raw material, plant and machinery, etc. The stage of promotion starts when a promoter conceives the idea to form a company and ends when the company is formed and is handed over to the directors. So these are the steps which comes under the preliminary stage, that is first stage. Next assignment. The first question is explain the formation or incorporation of a company. explain the formation or incorporation of a company. The second question is explain about promoters. Explain about promoters.